So we are going to be starting down on our spine. So only thing you're really going to need for this opening flow is your strap. So you can just push everything off to the side, just get it out of your way, and then make your way down to your back. If you don't have a lot of props at home, I'll be just giving you some ways to use your pillows and your blankets, and options also to not use any props. All right, so as you arrive here on your spine, you can allow your knees to bend and your feet can come flat, about as wide as your yoga mat, and you can open your arms out into a nice wide open T position. And then just begin to sway your legs from side to side. So, depending on what you've had going on throughout the day, as well as your level of stress, those things can cause us to move more quickly, okay, with less awareness. So, as you're taking these windshield wipers, you can start to move maybe a little slower and to move with greater consciousness. The last few cycles. And take your time. Just as you start to feel ready, you can point your knees up to the sky. You can bring your arms down by your hips, and you can turn your palms either to face down or face up, or even connecting the hands into the body around the belly area is good too. Knees can remain pointed up, or if you like, you can let your knees and your thighs fall in toward one another until they're resting upon one another. And then let your eyes softly close. Taking a nice, a full, deep breath in, deep down into the lower belly region. And a deep breath out, feeling your back body release its weight downward into the support of the earth. Nice, deep, full breath in, and a deep and full breath out. We're going to move the feet a little bit closer now so that the heels are approximately lining up with the sitting bones. Knees will point up toward the sky. We're going to allow the elbows to bend so that the backs of the arms and the elbows are grounding down into the earth, but the forearms and the palms are facing in toward one another. So press it down through the backs of the arms and press it down into your feet. We're going to breathe in and lift the hips up into a low bridge pose. So feel free, maybe 1 to 2 inches, maybe 3 to 4 inches, maybe a little higher with the hips. And then as you're exhaling, just allow your pelvis to come back down to the floor. Grounding through the soles of the feet, grounding through the backs of your arms, and breathe in. Let your hips once again float up away from the floor, coming into a low bridge. And then feeling your exhale, bring your hips back down to the floor. Always one of my favorite back bends to do. Let's just flow in and out a few more times, right? So creating mobility in the spine. creating a sense of openness across the front plane of the body while strengthening the muscles that support the spine, the spinal muscles, erector spinae, quadratus lumborum in the low back, pressing down, spread through your fingers, frontal hips open, and exhale as you let your hips come back down. Right? Last time, press into the backs of your arms and into your feet. Float your hips upward from the steadiness and strength of your legs and your feet. And then as you're exhaling, let your hips come back down to the floor. As your hips come to the floor, we're going to pick up the right foot and hug the right thigh in toward your ribs. Loop your hands around your front right shin bones. And just take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Stepping into a feeling of sacredness as you watch the circulation of your breath come into the body and move out. Now let's go ahead and release the hands and just let the right foot come down. And let's just do that same simple pose on the second side. Pick up your left foot, hug your left thigh in toward your ribs, bring your hands around to your shin bones and just give a gentle squeeze of the thigh bone in toward your ribs. Relaxing your eyes and tuning in to the flow of the breath, to the sacredness as the breath draws into your body and moves out. Sometimes our busy lives uh, can take us away from the sacredness. Right? We get sort of wrapped up in our own to-do list. So tonight, making an intention just to fully connect back inward, connecting back into that feeling of sacredness. Release your hands, let your left foot come down. All right, pick up your right foot. This is where a strap might come in handy. So we're gonna take the strap and we're going to loop the strap along the ball of the right foot as you send your right heel up. Hold one side of the strap in each hand. Hamstring stretch, right? So just stretch out through the back of your right leg. You can keep your left knee bent with your left foot flat on the floor. That's a little more mild. If you like, you could extend the left leg out along the floor. It might even just be a partial extension. The knee may still be bent. Right? We want to avoid flattening out the low back spine into the earth. Right? So if you take the leg out and you get that flattening, you might back out of it a little bit. Now we're just going to hump the right leg a few times. So as you exhale, you can just start to let your right knee bend. So you're going to feel your right thigh kind of hook in there toward your right ribs. Creates a very calming effect. And then as you inhale, send your right heel up toward the sky. And then let's do that again. So as you exhale, let your right knee begin to bend, hooking your thigh in toward your ribs. And as you're inhaling, sending your heel upward toward the sky. And then one last time, exhale, feeling your right knee bend, feeling your right thigh bone kind of hook in there toward your right rib case, and then breathing in and re-extending the legs, right, with a sense of strength as you press upward through your right heel. And we're going to transfer both parts of the strap into the right hand, okay, or your scarf or whatever you're using around the sole of your right foot. Now you can do this next movement with the left knee bent. It can be done that way. Often I find you can get a little more mobility in the leg with the left leg extended, but choose the option that works best for your back. Okay? Just going to open the left arm out to the left. Just going to let the right leg start to move open to the right. So extended big toe B, creating some openness now through the inner leg. Then we're gonna start to come up with the leg, come up with the left arm, switch your hand. So catch hold of the strap with your left hand, open your right arm to the right, and then just guide the leg a little bit across the body. Doesn't really have to be too much, right? Just maybe 18 inches or so. And then let's do it again. So inhale, come through the center with your right leg, come up with your right arm, open your left arm, and open your right leg to the right. And then inhaling, feel your leg rise up, switching your hands. Left hand connects to the strap, right arm opening out to the side, the leg just coming across the body. Okay, and then one more time that flow. Just come through the middle, right hand to the strap, right leg opening to the right, left arm opening to the left. One more twist over to the left. So come through the center, left hand to the strap, right arm opening out. Guide the right leg just a little bit across the body. Okay, come to the center and unhook the strap. Bend your right knee and your left knee. Hug both knees, hug both thighs into your ribs. Hold your knees or your shins, or maybe hold your hands together, interlocking. And just do a little rocking across your low back. And we're gonna let the right foot come on back down, left knee and thigh drawing them in toward your ribs. And then we're gonna hook the strap across the ball of the left foot and send your left heel up toward the sky. Leg stretching always feels so good after, any amount of time sitting. So just stretch up through the left heel, and then you have the option, keep your right knee bent, right foot flat, or you can reach the right leg out along the floor as long as that's not too much pressure in the low back. You don't get that strong press of the low back into the floor. Keep a little space there, right? So exhale, allow your left knee to bend. So your thigh feels like it's coming into your ribs. And then as you're breathing in, you're going to send your heel back up toward the sky. Exhale as you allow your left knee to bend and feel your left thigh draw in toward the ribs. And then as you're breathing in, send your heel upward toward the sky. One last time here. Exhale, allow your knee to bend. And then you're going to breathe in and send your left heel up. So feeling a sense of strength through the left heel as the left heel presses upward toward the sky. So we're going to transfer both sides of the strap into the left hand now. So remember, this can be done right knee bent, right foot flat, or right leg extended. We're going to open the right arm to the right, and we're going to just begin to guide the left leg open to the left. Being aware of this sensation, can you feel the contraction in the outer hip as the leg goes open, the stretch of the inner leg line, and then come through the center and feel your right arm come up, catch hold of the strap, left arm opens up as the leg draws across the body. And then inhale, come up through the center, catch hold of your strap with your left hand as that right arm reopens. Let your left leg open out to the left. And then come back up through the center, sweep that right arm up, catch hold of your strap. So open your left arm out to the left as you guide the leg across the body to the right. And we're going to go through that flow this very last time. So catch hold of the strap in the left hand. Feel your right arm sweep open to the right, leg opening out to the left. Come through the center, take your right hand up to the straps, guide the leg a little bit across the body as your left arm opens out to the side. Okay, and then come back up to the center. I'm going to just have you keep your left leg up on the strap now. So you're going to bend your right knee fully, slide the heel up toward the sitting bones. Now you want to place both the left foot and the right foot up onto the strap now. Reclined staff position, so you have that opening through the backs of the legs. Now we're going to do an upward wide angle, reclined upward wide angle, alternating with this staff position. So we're going to inhale, holding the sides of the strap. So you're going to let your legs slide down the strap until you come into upward wide angle. So it's basically like an upward, a reclined middle split, right? So the hands just kind of slide down on the strap there. And then as you're exhaling, you'll have to walk your hands up the strap a little bit, but you want to use your inner legs. Slide your feet back up on the strap. Walk your hands up maybe a little bit more and bring your heels back up toward the sky. Okay, let's try that again. So inhale, start to let your feet slide open. So as we slide the feet toward one another, this strengthens the inner leg line. So take a breath in here, legs in wide angle, and as you're exhaling, just start to slide the feet toward one another. So kind of hold the strap pretty taut as your feet are coming back toward one another as you arrive. You might walk the hands upward again. Okay, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Feel your tailbone, almost like your tailbone's reaching toward the front short side of the mat. Notice the lightness in the low back as you reach the tailbone toward the front short side. Take a breath in. Okay, and as you're exhaling, let's start to bend the knees, unhooking the strap. Set the strap out to the side. We'll use it again when we come to stand. So just set it out to the side for now. You can always rock forward and back on your spine to come up to all fours, or you can roll to the right or left, press into your hands and come up. So we might want to set that blanket support across the center of the yoga mat. Provide a little bit of cushion for your knees. Okay. So as you're coming up to the tabletop position, you may also want to take your strap and just set it to the front short side because we'll use it once we come to stand. Okay. All fours tabletop now. And we can begin here with just some cat-cow flow. So inhaling to let your belly release down toward the floor. Spanning open the whole front plane of the body, and then as you're exhaling, pressing into your hands and taking your tailbone under, just feeling that arc and rounding through your back body. Inhale, let your belly release once again. Feel your heart lift up. And as you exhale, press into your hands. Round through your spine. Press the balls of your feet into the mat. Take your sitting bones and move them back toward your heels. So stretch out through the soles of your feet. And then inhale, rock your hips up. Let your belly release. Feel the center of your heart lift. As you're exhaling, press into your hands and round your spine. Press the balls of your feet into the mat. Sink your sitting bones back again toward your heels. Stretch out long through the sides of your body. Feel your belly come in toward your thighs. Inhale, rock your hips up. Release your belly once more. We're going to down dog now. So ground through the balls of your feet. Draw your belly button into your spine. Float your knees up into the air. And as you arrive, walk out through your feet and walk out through your knees. Notice the sensation that comes up through the arches of the feet, through the backs of the ankles, through your calves, through your hamstrings. Cultivating a heightened sense of awareness as you move and as you breathe. It's really easy to go through the movements and the mind can be elsewhere, right? So over and over again, we have to connect our mind into what it is that we happen to be doing in this moment. It's not an easy task, right? Because the mind likes to run around all over the place, right? At least mine does, right? Okay, so we're gonna pause in the downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Look upward toward your hands. Start to bring your feet forward. Okay, so come on forward to forward fold now. Now, as you're arriving there, just going to breathe in, take the spine into halfway lift your belly away from your thighs, reach out through the crown of your head, and exhale, fold into your legs. Let's do that again. So just inhale, slide your hands up on your shins, or you can use your blocks. Just lift through the belly, reach out through the crown of your head, and exhale as you fold in. And then just this last time, inhale, lift through the belly, reach out through the crown of the head, exhale as you feel your body fold back into your legs. So start to breathe in, bend your knees, take your arms, sweep them out to the side, reach all the way up. Prayer hands coming together and then down into your heart. So we're going to catch hold of the strap for some shoulder work. So just take a moment, reach down. All right. So first movement we're going to take is just taking the strap about 12, 14 inches between the hands. Okay. So you're going to take your breath in and you're going to lift your strap up so that your arms are about parallel to the floor. So we're going to do like a little version of cactus arms here, right? So if you don't have a strap, you can do the same movements, but without the strap, right? So take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows and draw the strap in toward your chest. So feel your elbows pull back, which draws your shoulder blades toward one another. And then as you breathe in, take your arms back out. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Feel the strap draw in toward your upper chest. It almost feels like you're trying to draw the strap apart. And then inhale as you reach your arms back out. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Draw the strap in toward your chest. Just reach up nice and long through the crown of your head. Inhale as you re-extend the arms back out. We're going to go the last 2 times. Exhale, draw the strap in. Take the tailbone, reach it downward. And then as you're breathing in, stretch your arms forward. Last time. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Draw the strap in toward your chest. And then inhale as you reach your arms back out. And exhale, let the strap come down. Okay, you're going to just sweep the strap actually behind your low back. So we're just going to take a chest opener. So you're going to take your hands maybe 3, 4 inches apart, maybe a little closer. And I recognize some of you can do this without the strap also, but we're just going to use the strap between the hands, a couple inches apart. Let your elbows be a little soft. Draw your elbow points toward one another, and then feel your shoulder blades draw closer together. We're going to take the chin and just draw the chin in just a bit toward the chest. So just think about almost like sealing at the top of the throat, right? Like drawing the chin in, the back of the neck is long, like almost like a lift of the back of the skull up. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and then just releasing the strap, we're going to come into the next variation of cactus arms now. So come back to that original 12, 14 inches. You're going to breathe in and reach your arms up by your ears, nice and long. Full body reach, ground through your feet, extended mountain. Exhale, let your elbows bend. So now the strap's going to draw back behind the head. You'll notice your shoulder blades again drawing in toward one another. And as you inhale, reach your arms back up. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Draw the strap down toward the back of your head. Inhale, feel your feet ground down while your arms stretch back up. And then exhale again. Just let your elbows bend. Bring the strap down. Inhale as you re-extend back up. Last two times. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Inhale as you're re-extending up. Last time. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Inhale as you reach back up and exhale, let the strap come down. So you might just hold the strap in one hand for a second and just kind of roll your shoulders out just a bit. This next movement that we're going to do sometimes is referred to as shoulder flossing. So just rocking out another time or two. Okay. Now we're going to end up taking a wider stance now on the strap with the hands. So you're going to see once we start moving into this if your hands are too narrow or not, right? So you're going to inhale and take your arms and reach your arms up. Now, as you exhale, you're going to take your arms back. So as soon as I go back, I'm pretty much stuck, right? So I'm going to take my hands wider so that I can bring the strap down a little more and open through the chest. Now, if you have a tendency to take the chest and go forward, I'm going to just invite you to become more aware of that and see if you can draw your low ribs in. Inhale, reach your strap back up, and exhale, let your strap come forward. And so you're going to have a lot of softness here through the strap as the strap comes forward. And you're going to inhale, let your arms start to reach back up. And as you're exhaling, you're going to start to let the strap go back again. Okay, be mindful if you have that tendency to take your front ribs forward. So just draw the low front ribs in. Feel that opening across the heart. Inhale as you reach your arms back up. And then as you're exhaling, you're going to come forward. Let's do that flow one last time. So you're going to inhale, let your arms come up over your head. Let your arms start to go back behind you. Draw your low front ribs in. Reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale as you start to come back up. And then exhale as you come forward. Okay, so last movement here with this strap that we're going to do. Coming back to that more narrow stance, 12, 14 inches. Breathe in. Reach your arms up by your ears. Now we're going to take side bends, holding the strap between the hands. So just going to shift your body off to the left, lean to the left, and then come through the center and lean to the right. And come through the center, lean to one side, through the center, leaning to the opposite side. So just go one more time each way. So come through the center, over to the side, through the center, and over to the opposite side. Okay, so come through the center. You're standing tall in the mountain pose. You can start to collect your strap there and just let your strap come down to the floor. So you can keep it to the front short side. We have one more pose that we'll use that strap for in just a few minutes. You're going to come back to mountain pose, just feeling into your neck and your shoulders. Take a deep inhale, deep exhale. As you breathe in, we're going to take the arms, sweep them out to the sides, reach your arms up and along the sides of your face, prayer hands coming through your heart, bend your knees, and fold your body forward over your legs. Inhale as you take halfway lifts. You're going to lift your belly away from your chest, reach out long through the crown of your head. We're going to exhale, come back into down dog. So let your hands plant and start to step your feet into downward facing dog. Okay, it's going to breathe in here. Okay, and as you exhale, you're going to take your knees and lower them into tabletop. So we're going to do some outer hip strengthening. So for this, your right forearm can come all the way down to the mat. If you have a block, I'd recommend taking the block on its lowest side so that your elbow and your forearm have a prop. Okay, so we're going to go right forearm, right elbow down. Now the left hand is going to go off to the side a little bit. You're going to ground into the fingerprints or the full left palm. Okay, reach out through the crown of the head. Avoid sinking the chest to the earth. So press into your forearm and lift your chest. Ground into your right knee. Inhale, send your left bent knee out to the side. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. Exhale, lower the bent left knee down toward the floor. Inhale, bent left knee is going to lift out to the side. Exhale, bring the knee back down toward the floor. Last time, inhale, lift the bent left knee out to the side. Exhale, lower the left knee all the way down to the floor. Come back up to table. Now, if you have a block, you can take the long face of the block and bring it between the inner legs. Okay? If you don't have a block, you're going to do the same pose without the block. So spread your fingers, reach out through the crown of your head. Now, of course, you can stay right here. Otherwise, we're going to take hover cat by pressing the balls of the feet into the mat and floating the knees away from the floor. Okay, so even though we're calling it hover cat, we're going to go more for a little bit like a neutral spine versus a rounded back spine. Okay, so roll the pelvis slightly forward, draw your low front ribs into the body, and reach out through the crown of the head. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lightly lower your knees back down. You're using your block, catch hold of your block, set it forward to the front short side. Breathe in, let your belly release down to the floor and lift up through your heart. Exhale, ground into the balls of your feet, float your knees, come into downward dog. Let the weight shift into the right ball of the foot. As you inhale, send your left heel up into downward facing dog split. So the left heel is going to reach up, the crown of the head is going to reach downward toward the earth. Exhale, curl your left knee in toward your chest for a light step through with your left foot. You're going to spin that back right heel down to the floor. Now we are going to come up. We're bringing the strap with us. You're going to catch hold of your strap, right, as gracefully as you can. You can just kind of breathe in and still let your arms cartwheel around. Just have the strap in your hand, okay? Now, we're going to take what is called the cow face arms, Gomukhasana arms. So you're going to take the strap in the left hand. You're going to reach your left arm up by your ear, and you're going to let that strap drape down the center of your spine. Left arm's reaching up, okay? Now, I like to go into this one pretty sort of methodical with the right shoulder. You're going to lift your right hand away from your right thigh and turn your right thumb to point down and toward your thigh. Now this right arm, you're going to roll the shoulder up toward the ear and then roll it back. And as that's happening, you're going to start to swing your right arm back behind your back. Let your elbow bend, and you can catch hold of the bottom part of that strap as your left elbow bends. Right, so now the elbow is bent. You're kind of snuggling the back of your head into your forearm. You have the strap in your hand. So some may be able to even catch hold of the hands. That's a possibility. You may not even need the strap, right? But I like to be really mindful of the front of the right shoulder rather, which is an internal rotation. Some people can get some irritation in the front of the shoulder. So be mindful not to go in so deep that you irritate the shoulder. Take a breath in and a breath out. Okay, so slowly sweeping that right arm back down, back out as your left arm reaches forward. Right, so you're going to exhale, frame the front foot. So we want to scoot that strap forward, so just get it out of your way. Lower your back knee down to the floor. If you have blocks, set them on their highest side and come into low lunge with your hands on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, just place your hands on your front left thigh. Low lunge pose, right? So taking the front heel and the back knee and feeling like your legs can scissor toward one another. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Now you can always stay right here. If you feel pretty balanced and would like to extend the arms up for a moment, just breathe in, let your arms Sweep out to the sides. Let your arms stretch up and along the sides of your face, feeling a sense of openness through your front right hip down your front right thigh. And as you exhale, bring your hands back to your blocks or to the floor. So if you're using blocks, you're going to shift your blocks forward, right? So maybe off your mat. Press into the back ball of the foot and lift the knee. Now, this same pose could be done with the hands on the floor or the hands on your bolster or pillow support. We're going to take a version of standing split. So you're going to maybe need to even scoot the blocks a little farther forward. Bend the back knee, lift the right foot up into the air. So you want to end up shifting those blocks forward so that you end up with your shoulders, elbows, wrists pretty much lined up. Now you might end up bending the left knee. Actually, let's all do a little bit of flow here. So let's breathe in here. And as you exhale, bend both knees. Hook your right knee behind your left knee. Bend both knees and take a variational squat. Okay, and then inhale, send your right leg back up. Reach out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, let your knees bend. And you're going to take your hips down toward the floor. You can feel some stretch across your left hip. And then one more time. Inhale, send your right heel back up. And then as you're exhaling, bend both knees, hook your right knee behind your left as you take your hips down. Inhale, send your right leg up. Exhale, lower your right foot down. Inhale, halfway lift with your spine. Exhale, fold into your legs. Inhale, let your knees begin to bend and start to circle. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, prayer hands coming together and into your heart. Allow your knees to bend into chair position. We're going to take standing figure 4 here. So we're going to let the weight start to come into the right foot. You're going to start to pick up your left foot, catching hold with your right hand so that you can cross the ankle over the thigh. So I recognize the balance challenge that this pose could be. So you could have your hands on a chair or on the wall in front of you. You can also stay here. We could come forward, and those blocks, you can move them so that they can become like stilts for your hands. So like a half chair here. Good stretch for the outer left hip. Relax your eyes. So the use of the external support can help us tap into that feeling of being supported. Take a breath in and a nice deep breath out. Okay, now this top left leg is simply sliding down the front of your right leg, just sliding down. And then the foot's coming to the outside of the right foot. So it's a cross leg halfway lift. So left foot comes down, put your hands on the blocks, reach out through the crown of your head. Your hands could also be on your bolster, a chair, it might be on the floor. Could be a little intense with the hands on the floor because you might feel with the legs crossed, it's a stronger stretch for the back of your right leg. Okay, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Okay, so here we're just gonna start to uncross that top left leg. So the left foot's coming back. Breathe out. Start folding into your legs. Breathe in, reverse your swan dive. Bend your knees. Root through your feet, rise up. Fingertips reaching up as though you were gonna touch the ceiling. Head tethered to the sky above. Prayer hands coming into the heart. Coming down through that front line of the body. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the side. Reach them up and along the sides of your face. Feel your sideways lift up out of your pelvis. Prayer hands coming through your heart. Bend your knees. That humble bow forward as you come into the legs. Inhale as you slide your hands up onto your shins. Anchor your shins back into your hands. Feel your spine almost telescoping out of the pelvis. Exhale, let your knees bend. You can plant your hands and walk your feet into the downward dog. All right, as you land here, we're going to take all those poses on the second side. So you're going to exhale, lower your knees down to the floor. So your left elbow forearm can come down to the mat, or you can take your left elbow forearm to your block. Your right hand can be a little off to the right. Fingerprints are whole hand. Press into your forearm. Lift your heart away from the floor. Ground into your left knee. Inhale, send your right knee open to the side. Exhale, lower the knee down toward the floor. Inhale, lift your right knee open to the side. Exhale, come back in. Last one, inhale, lift your bent right knee open to the side. Exhale, lower all the way down. Now, if you have a block, take the long face of the block, hold between the inner legs. Spread your fingers. You can always stay here, right? And just activate the inner legs into the block. Otherwise, form as much neutrality in your spine as you can. Press into the balls of the feet and start to float your knees away from the floor an inch or two. Roll the pelvis slightly forward, but then draw the low front ribs into the body. Chin is slightly in so that the gaze is down to the floor. Deep inhale. And as you're exhaling, take your knees down, take your block, set it forward to the front. Inhale, release your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, ground into your hands, float your knees up into the air. Ground into the left ball of the foot. Inhale, send your right heel up into down dog split. Exhale, scoop the right knee in. Lightly step the foot through, turn the back heel down. So the cow face arms, Gomukhasana arms, you want to catch hold of your strap. Just slowly start to bring the body up. Arriving there in the warrior two pose. Okay, so the strap is going to come into the right hand. Reach your strap up so that the strap drapes down the center of your spine. You're going to take your left arm out so that the thumb ends up pointing down toward your thigh. Okay. Palm is pointing back behind you. Roll your shoulder, left shoulder up and back. And as it goes back, start to sweep the arm behind the back and let the hand come up to catch hold of the tail while your right elbow bends. Feel the back of your head press gently into your right forearm. And we want to avoid overstretching or aggravating the left shoulder. It's a really strong focal point for us is that left shoulder. Take a breath in and a breath out. Okay. One last breath in. One last breath out here. So now that bottom left arm starts to slide down the strap. The arm sweeps back out, parallel to the floor. Right arm releases, hands coming down. Framing your front right foot, spinning off of your back heel. Back knee comes down to the floor. Blocks come beneath the hands, highest height of those blocks. Scissor your legs toward one another. Right heel, back left knee, draw in toward the center. Reach up long through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders. So you can always stay here, right? Or you're gonna stabilize enough through your legs and your feet that you can inhale and let your arms go out, like wings expanding out from your heart. Sweep your arms up. Lightness in the side waist as your arms extend upward toward the sky. Exhale, let your hands come down, back to the blocks if you're using them. If you're using the blocks, shift them forward. We're lifting the back knee. We're coming into that version of standing split. So we're bending the back knee for a light press off and maybe move the blocks farther forward. So your left leg is going to lift and we're going to start that flow here. So as you exhale, bend both knees. Bend the right knee, hook the left knee back behind. Inhale as you take your left heel, sweep it upward to the sky. Exhale as you allow both knees to bend. Take the squat. Okay, and then inhale, take your left leg one more time. Reach the left leg up. And then as you're exhaling, allow both knees to bend. Hook your left knee behind your right as you take your hips somewhat low. Okay, inhale as you lift the left leg. Very last time. And then as you're exhaling, let your left foot come down and fold in. So no, we're going to take that half chair. So if you want your blocks to come in a little closer, do so. Fold into the legs. Inhale, begin to reverse your swan dive. Take your arms out, reach out through your spine and rise up. Okay, prayer hands coming together and through the heart as you bend your knees into chair. Okay, leaning the weight into your left foot and starting to float your right foot up. Take your left hand, reach down, cross the outer ankle over the left thigh. Use a chair, the wall, your couch. You can stay here in the center. You can bring your hands down to your blocks, right? So some people may be able to reach the floor, right? Draw your shoulder blades down your back as you let the crown of your head lengthen forward. One last inhale and one last exhale here. We're going to slide that right ankle down the left leg, crossing the right leg over the left. So halfway lift with the legs crossed. So you might have to adjust your blocks forward again. So hands could be on your chair, on a bolster, on the block. So it's possible, right, for them to be on the floor, but that's a lot stronger on the back of the left leg. So you want to be mindful of that, right? You don't want to overstretch the back of the left knee. Okay, take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale. And then as you're exhaling, start to soften that right knee so that you can uncross. Let the right foot come down to the floor. Fold into your legs and inhale to reverse. Last time coming up, we're going to start to come down to the floor. So start to sweep your arms up. Prayer hands coming together through the heart as you bend your knees and take the bow forward with your torso. Inhale as you take a halfway lift with your spine, hands on the floor, the shins or the blocks, shoulders gliding down the back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take the feet, step them back. Take a breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, one last inhale and exhale. Okay, we're lowering the knees down into the tabletop. And then we're going to swing the legs around to the right, to the left. Just come on down to your seat. Okay, so you can let your knees bend and let your feet come flat to the floor. Then just walk your hands back a bit. So hammocking your spine. So belly's going to kind of sink down toward the floor. Shoulders going to slightly rise up. Then you're just going to sway your knees from side to side. So same windshield wipers would be Gannon at the beginning, but just from seated this time. Okay, so as you come back to the center, we're gonna take a pose, a supported chest opener. So this is where some props could come in handy, but you can also stack some pillows up to create a ramp. Basically, we're just creating a ramp for our spine. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it here with two blocks and a bolster. But you could do this with like a pillow or two pillows, and then maybe a blanket across the top so you have a little support for your head. So, what I do is take one block on its lowest side, one block on the mid height, and I'm going to leave my blanket here because I'm going to end up sitting on the edge of the blanket. I like to have just a little cushion for my hips. And you're just going to take your pillow or your bolster, and you can just ramp it up there over your blocks. And so the pelvis will be down on the floor. Spine is going to be draped across your bolster support. Now, the closer you take your back of your pelvis, your sacrum, into the bolster, the deeper the back bend for your low back. So you might take a little bit of space actually between your low back and the bolster. That decreases it. So maybe just an inch or two. That's what I have is about 1 to 2 inches away versus connecting my buttock region to the bolster. Ah, good chest opening here if you've been doing lots of computer work, right? So you can open your arms out into like a low V shape and let your legs extend out unless they feel better bent. You can point your knees up to the sky. You could also take the bound angle if that felt good for your back. So just find a position here for your legs and just let's take a minute or two just to root the tops of the thigh bones down, open through the front of the body. Feeling a sense of ease across the eyes and forehead, relaxing through the line of the jaw and the throat. Take another 1 to 2 minutes here, but know you can transition early out of this pose. We're going to come to Shavasana soon. So if the pose is bothering your low back or started to feel intense across the chest, you can always come out early and shift into Shavasana. Otherwise, just another 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so take the last 1 to 2 breaths here. Okay, so if your legs are extended or in the bound angle, we're just going to want to allow the knees to point up to the sky. So knees bent, feet coming flat, knees pointing upward. So how I like to come out of this is just take my hips and slide them a little bit to the right. Okay. And then as my hips go a little to the right, I can start to lift my right arm and start to roll to the left side of the body, right? So as I shift, I'm still on the bolster, but I'm just lying on my left side body now. Okay. Just take a moment there just to hold in this side lying position. Okay, I'm going to press the hands down into the floor and start to slowly come back up. All right, so I'm going to show you a supported shavasana that you could opt for, or you can just go to regular shavasana without any props, just flat on the spine. So I'm going to end up taking my blocks in front of my bolster. So this will support the backs of my knees, and then the blocks will actually be for my heels so that my heels have something to connect to and they're not hovering over the floor. And if you're not quite sure where your heels will land, you could take the blocks, horizontal, or if you feel like your legs are a little longer, you could point the short sides of the blocks into the sides of the bolster, and that's going to give you a little longer of a space for your heels to possibly land, right? So as you come up, you should be able to see like right away if you need to adjust them in or adjust them forward. So just maybe letting your heels land on your blocks, backs of the knees, coming to the bolster support, and then slowly bringing your body down. And you can adjust, right? So adjust as you get there. If you feel like you need to move your sitting bones a little closer. So here, instead of the heels being up, sort of hovering there in the air, they're just going to come down to the blocks. Relax your shoulder blades down. Palms can turn to face up. They might connect into your body. Let the weight of your bones release down. Feeling the rise and the release of your body as you breathe. So starting to come back, the feeling of your body on the earth. Take a deep cycle of inhale and exhale. Okay, we're gonna allow the knees to bend. So the feet maybe coming to the bolster, to the floor, and then eventually shifting the body over to the right or to the left. And just again, take a moment just to rest there on your side. Then press your hands down into the mat and start to rise upward to your seat. Let your hands come together at your heart. The light within me sees and bows to that same light that exists within each of you. Namaste.